Hello. In this video I'm going to give you 10 things to include in your Amazon listing so that it converts at the highest possible conversion rate, so that people click through and they buy it and you make more money and it's going to be awesome. Hello, we haven't met. My name is Patrick. I work at AsteroidX and we spend about $12 million a year on Amazon ad spend. It's a serious problem. Please send help. So the Bulletproof Listing, okay? I'm going to put it up over here on this side. We'll go point by point and I'll tell you 10 things to add to your listing now. If you just simply went through a list of all your SKUs and counted which of your SKUs have these things and which don't, that would be A, a really fun afternoon, I think we could agree, and B, explosive conversion rate increases for some SKUs, right? It's going to work on some SKUs and you're going to make more as a result, right? Let's start with photos, because humans are very visual animals. We are used to, it's one of our strongest, definitely vivid sense, right? Photos, right? And I'll illustrate this with a point. Imagine you're looking to buy a new pair of shoes, right? And you went to Sport Check, Sporting Life, Dick's Sporting Goods, something like that. And you looked on the wall where they normally have a wall of shoes, but instead this time, instead of a shoe that you could pick up and examine from all angles, see the weight, try it on, instead of that experience, along the wall of shoes, there was just printed out 2D images of shoes, and just one of the pair, what it looks like. Are you going to buy those shoes? Are you going to be more or less inclined to make a shoe purchase that day, right? Less inclined. It's just a photo. It's one flat photo, and unfortunately, until VR and haptic feedback gets really, really good, that's going to be the Amazon shopping experience for the time being, right? So we have no option but to work with 2D images and video now. We'll get into that. But if you have to work with a 2D image on Amazon, what you're going to do is you're going to want to include as many images of the product as possible to simulate that experience of in-store shopping, picking it up, looking around. You're going to want to simulate that as closely as possible, right? So do you see that by adding, instead of, maybe if your listing now has 2, 3, 5 photos, do you see how going to the maximum allowed, which is 7, could increase your click-throughs and conversions? Not click-throughs so much because that's only based on the main image, but your conversion rate, right? More people will buy. And the sort of photo mix that I recommend is one hero image. It has to be on white. Again, we'll talk about that. But as for the others, I would say 2 to 3 others on white, showing a different side of the product, the contours, the material, the high-quality ingredients, what have you, right? And then 3 to 4 lifestyle. So showing the product in its natural habitat where it will be used post-purchase. This also helps, by the way, with reviews and with return rates, because if you show the product just on static white photos, customers won't really get the sense of how big it is. I'm sure you've had this experience where you've ordered something on Amazon and the dimensions weren't quite what you thought. It's because that seller did not include accurate lifestyle images of the product after the fact. And contrary to what a lot of people think, you don't need an active photo shoot for this. This could be done with graphic design, right? Pretty easily. You just send them the dimensions and they'll know to scale the product up and down, right? So that's the first thing. You have 7 parking spots for photos. You should definitely use them. I've been shocked again and again. We work with hundreds of sellers, right? I am shocked how many SKUs have 1 photo, 2 photos, 3 photos. It's understandable. I mean, if Amazon's not your main channel, if you're really into first-party e-commerce or physical retail or wholesale, if you have another main revenue channel, I understand. Certainly I do. But it's just for the Amazon experience, that is, in a friendly way, unacceptable, right? There's a dress code here, and it's 7 photos, right? Just for this platform, right? For what it's worth. And Amazon gives you those spots for free with your professional Seller Central membership, so you might as well use it, right? Sort of tacking onto the photo point, the main image. The main image should be on white. It has to be. You see some sellers skirting the rules and including other things in the background. They may never get caught, honestly, but eventually a lot of those listings do get crawled and then subsequently suppressed, i.e. they're still listed but they're not allowed to sell and they're not in search results. They'll be suppressed until you remove that feature of the photo, whatever was offending the Amazon bots at that time, right? the smallest side of the image should be no less than 1,000 pixels. This makes it zoomable, right? You ever click on an Amazon product and see the photo blown up? Again, this helps with expectations. You can see the textures, the colors, stuff like this, right? It's all about simulating that shopping experience. Because obviously, if the product could physically pop out of the screen and let you try it like a retail store, they would do that. But short of that, because that experience is not there yet, you really have to think about, okay, how do we do? It's like remote work, right? It's like, how do we do this digitally in a way that is faithful to the original experience, has a lot of the same benefits, but is online, right? How do you do that, right? Yeah. So okay, let's go to the text elements. Let's go to title, right? It should be at least 150 characters. This varies by category though, so check your kind of style guidelines per category, right? But use this, again, it's kind of the same logic with the photos. Use the space if you have it. That's still fine. Make sure that they are very thoughtfully planned out keywords, because from an SEO perspective, Amazon is really reading the title and they're putting a lot of weight on that in terms of where to rank you. The title is, you know, more important than any other text section in the listing. So it's title, bullets, description, backend search terms, right? In order of importance, right? The bullets. Again, use the space, and they should be a mix of keyword dense and persuasive sales copy, right? You don't just want to put jargon in there that you know has monthly search volume. That's not, you know, the space is moving away from that and more into, you know, just a human experience, because it's not bots buying your product, it's humans, right? They you know, but still pay attention to some SEO. Use enhanced brand content if you have it. If you're brand registered, it's better. Conversion rates are higher, and you get to tell more of your brand story. So would recommend. The rating. You need, you know, call it at least 4.5 stars would be great. 4 stars, conversion rates start to dip, and they just fall off a cliff lower than 4 stars, right? So people assume there's something wrong with it, and maybe there is, right? You can't fix the reviews with superficial listing adjustments. That's maybe more of a go on a meditation retreat, go on a long mountain walk kind of thing, and think about how to improve the product at its core on a supply chain level. That's maybe a different discussion and outside the scope of our chat here. Yeah, and then 10 reviews or more. So there are 2 big conversion rate increases in terms of reviews. When you go from 0 to 1 review, huge, you know, if it's a 4 or 5 star, and you know, over 10. Right? Again, you'll see an increase. So that's awesome. Aim for 10, and it doesn't mean you can't run ads even when you have 0 reviews or 3 reviews. But it'll just mean that maybe on average the conversion rate will be lower, and that's okay if you account for that in ad spend and COGS and all that. Right? Fill in the backend search terms. Again, the parking space is there. Might as well use it. And it should have a video if this is enabled in the account. So steps for that are inventory and upload and manage videos. Right? Again, video, since it's just more vivid, it's more alive, it's a step back from in-person, but it's a step up from photos. So again, include it if you can. So if you do these 10 things on every single SKU that you had that was important, right, would your sales increase? Can you see how your sales would increase by having just more richer content and more persuasive bullets and photos that zoom and, right, enhanced brand content? Yeah, it makes sense. Right? If you're looking for a place to get started, I would recommend maybe your top, you know, the bottom half of your top 25 percentile, for example. Like, you don't go changing your bestseller immediately, because, you know, you might tweak something, and then if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of thing, right? But to be efficient with your time, I would say, you know, start with the bottom of the top 25%, call it, right? If you want help with stuff like this, with listings, with advertising, or if you just want someone to talk strategy with, you can book a call with my team in the description, astrodex.com. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next one.